We're dropping rocks tonight.
Dropping rocks.
I'm dropping rocks. I'm starting new. I just make up new expressions. Dropping rocks. I'm just dropping rocks.
Wow.
My coworker came up with this new expression: unicorns in the dust.
Unicorns in the
What
dust.
does that even mean?
I have no idea what it really meant, and she didn't even know what it meant when she said it.
It's like fleeting beauty or something like that, right? It's just like fading beauty that fades away. It's the unicorns in the dust.
Unicorns in the dust.
Yeah, one might call it a very romantic phrase, and very apropos for today's topic. We're talking about here lovebirds.
Wow, that was really fast.
Part of the genus.
Got to the point.
Agapornis, a small group of parrots in the old world parrot family. Now we're getting right into the point because we're gonna skip all the foreplay and just go right into that. Just lunge for the clitoris.
I keep on wondering, what is our age range for this?
Wow. Legal.
Oh, don't
Legal.
worry. I make sure I click on "not made for kids" on every time everywhere the
Legal.
new this is loaded up here. So, everyone, we are in the spirit of Valentine's Day. Love is in the air. Sparkle, sparkle, sparkles. Or is that just the cold of February creeping down my neck?
Jack Frost's claws.
Yeah. Why is it that we give, love, which arguably is probably, the most, wonderful of human sentiments and emotions, just one day? Just it shouldn't be like every day. It's like,
you gotta get it over with, right?
The reason I transitioned quickly into romance because my banter is romance related, and
back to
foreplay a little bit. Yeah, what is it with the whole like bed of roses, flower petals strewn on the bed or the hallway, like a trail leading to someone, that became like a romantic thing? When started that as like a romantic tradition? Like, who wants to make love on like a bed full of detritus? just sort of dead flower skin all over the bed. And it's this is so romantic. And I'm gonna put chocolates in a box made out of a blood pumping organ. It's a weird holiday, you know what I mean?
Some serial killers would say that is the most romantic kind.
Right,
True.
Exactly. Just stuff it in there. Gotta eat your heart with some fava beans and a nice chilled Chianti.
You do it a lot better than I do.
But seriously, what do you think started the whole flower petals as a thing? Is that maybe from the she loves me not, she loves me not kind of thing?
Like I said, I think it's just a lazy gardener that just he brought in his flowers, just they were all dead, all the petals were going everywhere, and yeah, that just
lazy gardener wife comes home and he's like, romantic.
Look what I've done.
Look what I've done. Grass clippings all over the kitchen and stuff like that.
And over time, that slowly became very romantic because he was a lover.
You have to keep one-upping, right? It went from grass clippings to dandelions and then finally roses. I mean roses, the idea of being able to strewn rose petals everywhere must have cost an absolute fortune, because it's you have to import them. They last about a month or two wherever they're growing. We have some growing outside right now, and yeah, about a month or two, and then that's it. So if you want to be really romantic in February, where did you have to get that?
Celebrate love by giving your special person in your life a now recently killed piece of the earth because you just ripped it out of the stem. You just
See, that's the sentiment I go in. I never
of
want flowers on Valentine's Day because it's weird. It's here, have these dead things.
Have this thing that I killed to give to you. I suppose that does really go back to I'm gonna go out and hunt the mythical beast and skin it and bring back its hide, and I'll be the talk of the town. You just killed a legendary animal.
Hey, maybe those splatters of blood are what slowly changed into petals.
Ah, there you go. So, like, all the stuff that we're talking about
Oh.
right now is sort of like ideas for how we can get Valentine's Day into one's world, right? But maybe you want to start us off, Chris,
Valentine's Day's messy.
with you said you had a little bit of history.
Yes. Well, it all started with Valentine the cleric with his purple amethyst ring, who believed in the god of threes. The emperor, who followed the plenties,
Like, hold on,
was
like
not-
the pig that lived in like the hay house, like the wood house, the brick house, the rule of three, like the Goldilocks,
Yeah, and
the
he
mama
huffed-
bear, papa bear, and baby bear.
Wait, which tale are we talking about now?
Just like the rule of three, it's all over the place in fairy tales. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
you've
of
got some
course.
foppish, I'm presuming, Italian cleric with a purple ring running around telling stories of talking pigs and flatulent wolves.
I think
No, see, I think you brought that one in. I did not hear anything from Chris about that.
well, you never know. You never know. Those were old times, right?
Continue your serenade, Chris.
No.
Romance us with your gifted
Hey.
stylings of telling the story of Valentine's Day. Swoon me.
Swoon. All right. Well, the emperor who followed who followed the plenties, he was not happy with this new foreign deity,
Wait.
and he decreed all
the
the
plenties?
plenties,
What?
a pantheon of gods,
Like Good and Plenty's, like the candy?
a pantheon of gods.
Oh, okay.
I just called it the plenties
Oh,
I see.
okay.
because there's many of them. There's too many of them.
Right.
And the god of threes, you can guess what that means too, as well, right?
One in the pink, two in the stink.
No.
Sorry, I'll cut that out.
That's
Hilarious outtake.
That's where you're going with it.
A very, very large portion of the
We're
world's
having
religions.
it's a
seems to be mad at
romance
you.
episode. And the first thing that
Yes.
comes to mind when I take romance is the shocker. You know, what can I?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
The shocker and the
Yeah, the
spocker.
Spocker.
Okay, see, now I don't know what you guys are talking about. I know the shocker, but I don't know the spocker.
Don't
Just add
don't-
another. Never
don't
mind.
Google
Yeah, just-
stay innocent, Chris.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you have to start over. So there was a guy with a purple ring who fancied himself a man of the cloth. He liked a lot of gods.
No, he only liked three. The god
Yeah.
of threes,
Gotcha.
right?
The one god
Of threes.
of threes.
There you go.
There you
Yes. And then the emperor who followed the plenties, he was not happy with this new foreign deity, so he decreed that all who would not convert to the plenties would be imprisoned and sentenced to death.
go. Oh.
Yeah. So Valentine, he had miraculous powers. He was a cleric of the god of threes. So before he died, he decided to perform a miracle to cure blindness on the warden's daughter.
I see. So this is a bullshit story.
Or absolutely
this is true.
brilliant, right?
So he's like, oh, how do I not get the death penalty? I'm gonna perform a miracle. Saw the lady in half. Do close-up card tricks.
I'm gonna keep that one under my hat.
Well, the warden, impressed, still had to go through with his duty. And on the day of his death, Valentine, he sent a card to the jailer's daughter, who could now see that said,
I choose you.
I choose you.
No,
That's a better
And we
better
could
one.
See his heart
It smells
break in
like burning,
3,
or it tastes like burning.
1.
Tastes like burning.
All right, and yes, the daughter was the first one, became one of the followers of the Valentine's deity of three. The end. That's pretty much the basic story of Valentine's cards.
I see. Yeah, that's a weird tradition that they do they still do that in schools in the U.S. I don't know, but it was weird. Like where you put like these little mailboxes off
It
the
was
side
weird.
of your desk, and you have to go around and put these little cards. And people say, I don't want to give anybody a love you card or like your friends to the end of me. These little mini cards. It's just like, oh
See,
man, that was
That's
weird.
where you and I are different. I loved doing that.
Did you?
Yeah,
Wow.
I loved doing that.
I'm gonna be right in the middle as usual and say, hey, was always thankful I got some because I didn't want to be the person who got
Yes.
none, right? Because that is the popularity contest like primer that you need to know for life.
Well, since we're not filming this in a visual medium, people don't know that I showed up for today's romance episode wearing my leather gimp outfit, whereas resident 3RPG romantic Chris Takasaki here, is wearing like a foppish lord's frilly vest. And
I only put it on for Valentine's.
Very dapper.
yeah, I'm a dapper Dan man. Goodness gracious. All right. So yeah, Valentine's Day, romance, love in your campaign. Should we do it? I mean, right off the bat, it seems like one of those things that's like, no, stay far away. But I'm gonna be arguing for it. Certainly, I think it comes with caveats, of course, like everything else does. But what do you guys think?
I'm for.
I am firmly in the pro camp, but that was a long time travel.
Oh.
Like I would have said previously, no. So yeah, definitely have over the years transformed my opinion on it. Well, trust has a huge thing to play with it, and we'll get into that.
100%. Yeah, exactly. If you're gonna get into like tying people up, you gotta know how, like, you gotta worry about like skin damage and all that.
Yeah,
trust is.
Yeah, gotta have the safety words and the.
Now, love comes in many forms, though, right?
That's right.
There's DM and player, right? There's player and player. Now there's NPC and PC.
Yeah.
There's PC to PC and NPC to NPC. Those are, I guess, all the iterations I can think of. There might be some others like PC and inanimate object or something, or I don't know.
Yeah. And I guess PC and backstory, maybe.
Yeah.
Things like that. If you want to really stretch it.
They really love their backstories.
You got innies and you got outies, and any way you want to mash them together. Good grief. So why don't we start?
We're going there, folks.
Start there. Yeah, this one's like adult advisory label on the tin.
Warning,
like
yeah.
That, right? Yeah. So why don't we begin there then, Sandra? Why don't we begin with how you said you wouldn't have been before, but now you are, and then what made that transition? Why don't you regale us with your transformation?
Yeah.
With your budding acceptance of romance in games.
Okay, so I'm gonna go into like the female side of things. Obviously, I think for men the approaching of romance can just be a very somewhat easy plot point to get into, but power dynamics are a big thing. If I was going to be at a table with people I don't know, that will raise my anxiety a little bit again, unless a lot of rules are laid down at first. Like if there's rules and we all agree to those rules, like everything's set in advance, I'm good with it again. But if it just spontaneously happens at a table that I'm not familiar with.
Well, a level of maturity and kind of adult storytelling, and by that I mean like not sort of like adult picture storytelling. I'm talking about like sort of like very mature storytelling needs to be had at the table. If you're sitting down for like a one-off, probably just leave it out entirely. It's not something that maybe you should be talking about unless the theme of the game that you're playing is a
Valentine's one.
A Valentine's one or something like that. Yeah. Then you know what you're getting into.
And again, you still have buy-in though. You've already established that this is what's going to be allowed. So buy-in is huge, so that you don't suddenly find yourself as like the person who's going to break immersion because they're uncomfortable. Yep. So the buy-in's huge. Trusting your team is huge. Like at this point, I feel like, in the campaign that we play, we don't even need pre-buy-in. We know where each other lies on the subject and what our X card moments, as we call them,
and we're all very lucky. We've known each other for 20 plus years, and so it's quite easy to just jump right in. So that kind of helps. And there is a huge caveat. If you go to anything on Reddit, like DM horror stories, most of them are going to be like, oh, my DM tried to like make my character get involved in this like weird orgy or something like that, and I was really uncomfortable and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you need the buy-in, you need the trust, you need all that. Yep.
And especially for female players, it's kind of easy to go into that territory. Like if something's going to go really south in a story, it tends to happen to girls. So yeah, be really careful with that. Especially the person who's got more power, which I feel like the GM has more power in the relationship because you're telling the story. It's something to be aware of. But more of what I want to say is that people have different levels of what is normal to them, what is abnormal, what is downright creepy.
Right.
So, and that's where these joining a somewhat new group or a new game gets a little dicey, because if somebody hasn't played in enough of the space with women, or even with women who've had trauma backgrounds and things like that, they wouldn't even be aware of it. So it's that's where it gets really hard to have that conversation, because they would feel really bad after the fact having put somebody in that position. So yeah, I'd rather just, in the past, I would have rather just avoided the whole thing entirely and not even have to have that uncomfortable conversation. But at this point, I feel like there's enough conversation and enough understanding that's gone on in the TTRPG community that people at least have a baseline awareness. So romance, to me, even in a newer setting, I think has come a really long way, even in the last 5 years.
Was there a moment when that switched, or was it just a gradual acceptance over time?
The Me Too movement really opened that up, and it just immediately flooded Gamergate. A lot of the female gamer girl backlash, things like that. So we had to get to a really dark space where women almost kind of quit the gaming, whether it be video gaming or tabletop altogether, because it's why are we going to put up with this harassment? Why do we have to keep proving ourselves? Things like that. And then it just started the pushback. As a group, we pushed back. We made the space. We kind of protected each other. So I'd say, God, roughly around 2016 was really the low point, and then it started going up. So really, really, really solidly good changes.
Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of weird power dynamics that could happen with that, and not just from GM to player, but then couples at the table and all that kind of stuff, which can get kind of really, really weird and awkward. So, I mean, anyone who doesn't feel, again, adult enough to try to do these things at the table, don't. Also, think about why this is going to be part of your campaign anyway. We use romance in our game, and one of the reasons for that is it's kind of generational, and it's spanning the course of families who grow up and then fall in love, and then have their spouses pass away and all this kind of stuff. So it's kind of central. What I'd like to add is to say that I don't think I would feel comfortable even with you guys as friends to do any explicit sex scenes at the table.
Right.
You just do the classic kind of like they do in movies, the camera pans up to the painting of the raging sea or whatever, not lighthouse or something.
The train goes into the tunnel.
The train goes into the tunnel at the end of a Hitchcock film.
The classy transition.
Yeah, exactly. You just do some transition like that, and that could be kind of funny and break the weird tension at the table. Unless, of course, you're just doing a real adult meetup with a bunch of swingers, and that's what you guys are there for. And the RPG session is simply a kind of conduit to you guys getting it on later on. And why not? I mean, why not? Open to all types of gamers.
Audience
Is
the key, right?
Audience is your key, exactly. Yeah. You're gonna bring out one of those board games that you have the weird dice that you roll, and it says licks so armpit or whatever. It's just okay, I'm gonna play that with a certain group of people. You know what I mean? Hey, grandma's coming over. Bring out the erotic dice.
Hey, if that's what you're into,
yeah, we're no judgment, as long as grandma knows
what she's getting into. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I said, audience is the key, and if you're dipping into romance, maturity certainly helps, right? I, as a DM, I've never had PC to PC romances. I've had lots of PC to NPC romances. That always happens. People, like I said, they in my campaigns, people pick up a lot of companions, so they end up having someone, right? As a player, though, I have participated in PC to PC, but that was with my girlfriend, and some caveats. We were the only 2 players in that campaign, and it was kind of built around that concept. So it was lovely and lots of fun.
Yeah, that's great. That could be a great. That could open the doors to a lot of interesting storytelling that you might otherwise have. If you're a couple and you have a GM that's willing to facilitate you guys playing like as a couple in the game, that could also be really fun.
And everything was fade to black still, even in that too. So
Yeah. So no, that is the one area that I'm hesitant still on is actual like player, like a real life player relationship, also having a character relationship. That's been like really dicey because I feel like what happens in the game, if one person's character would not come to the defense of the other, it's a really difficult decision for them to make. And more often than not, in my experience, the player has made the player decision, not the character decision. And that can get really dicey if they need to put their life on the line to save somebody else versus their partner and things like that. So that's still the one area that gives me a little bit of hesitation because it doesn't feel organic, like organic gameplay.
I do think though maturity helps, right?
Yeah. Maturity helps. Having that conversation, having the session 0, talking about, do you really want to do this? Is this important? Like, why do you even want to do this? Like, what do we want to explore here as part of the themes for the story and what have you? Yeah, having that talk really is kind of essential here at this point, I think.
Yeah, especially if it's like an NPC and a PC. As a DM, you still have to be very careful to avoid favoritism, right? That can become a huge problem, right? Going down the line. That's always kind of like why a lot of people will kind of have this rule where you don't play with your partners.
It's hard. It's really hard.
But I do. I definitely do.
Doobly do.
Doobly do.
I doobly do.
Well, this might be a good companion piece to our previous episode on Downtime, right? Because most of the time, RPG sessions are focused on the moments in which the character is going through kind of harrowing moments in their life, the adventure moments where, if someone was constantly to have those, they'd become like a lunatic because they have no moments where they're just sitting down and having a normal existence, a day at the farm or whatever. And so the moments of romance, like while they're moving from place to place, can be done in very tasteful montage-like fashions, where you kind of have the things that they had this, they went on this date and they did this thing, and you kind of you sort of abstract it a little bit, or you remove the actual like role playing in the scene, like first person. Speaking as your character, and rather use your characters in the third person and kind of narrate the events from more of a distance, and in that way, it almost makes it almost
becomes less personal.
Yeah, rather than having this like romantic scene between the two players across the table acting the character. They could say, "Oh, my character does this," and then you do this, and like everyone can then get this view of something that happened that could then become really touching later on, literally and figuratively. Sorry, to undercut my own mental. Olive Boyle, you're still here. I wouldn't miss that episode about romance.
Everyone deserves love.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. Thanks for your platitudes. Oh my God, Olive Boyle. What an asshole. Take the compliment when you get it. Yeah. And she didn't even take her shoes off. She's just walking through muddy shoes in the house. Like, you just come from the harbor? What's going on over here? Yeah.
She's probably the kind who takes the shoes off on the airplane.
Yeah, and her socks.
And doesn't put them on until she gets into bed.
That's right.
Kicks them back up on the window.
Right. All right, guys. Well, let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more talks about romance and love. Ooh la la.
Ooh la la.
And put on your nightwear because things are gonna get saucy. Because I'm making some Italian food for dinner. Okay. Good
spaghetti and meatballs.
Taco yaki.
Boom 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 boom.
Oh yeah. This episode of the 3RPG podcast is brought to you by Divine Intervention.
Oh yeah.
When you need to see your goddess, when you need to see your god or goddess or your form of deity right quick, contact us at Divine Intervention. Well, yeah, when your clerics will break their oath, you come on down to Divine Intervention, and we reconnect you to a new god or goddess, lickety split. No shit.
That's pretty good.
It's gonna be Slanesh, but
Divine Interventions. Call us quick. 1-800-6969.
Classic.
We get that Godhead up in you real quick. I don't know what I'm doing.
Say what?
Shut your mouth. Okay, this doesn't work.
That means we need to keep it in.
I know, we gotta keep it in.
You're getting the Chris treatment. Yep, you're working. It's working.
It's working. It's working. Yeah. And he goes, oh yeah.
What TTRPG class is Dracula?
A vampire. It's a playable class now, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Is it?
Because
Is it actually a class?
He's a
because
rogue.
You could say he's a vampire that was a fighter. He's a vampire that's a musician. He's a magician.
He could be a musician.
Dracula's a bard.
Yeah. Dracula's Dracula's a bard. Yeah, like a necromancer.
Yeah.
He is a necromancer.
Oh.
Dude.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, I guess that joke didn't kill.
Wow.
What a mistake.
Through the heart.
You're
Yeah,
early for
it didn't kill.
Halloween.
All right. Anyways. Bromances. Do bromances follow the same rule?
Wait. Wait, what? Are you going to transition us back into romance
Nope.
via necromancy?
And we're talking about kink.
It was just a joke. It was just about.
Oh.
I saw the word
romance.
necromancer, and I thought, yeah, necromancer.
Well, yeah, I don't mind if anybody has their way with my body. Just, when I'm dead, I'm dead. Just throw my corpse in a room and let people have their way with it.
Yeah,
my
but a
body
necromancer
dinner
will
first.
bring it back, though, without your consent.
Owen Wilson, are you back here again?
That's
Wow,
no good.
he'll
That's no
bring
good.
you back
Wow.
without your
Wow.
consent. That's terrible. Wow.
Okay, you stayed over for 2 weeks straight. You got to get back home, buddy.
Wow.
Olive Will's waiting out in the convertible. But yeah, sorry, to answer your question. Wait, what?
Dracula necromancer, but
Does romance follow those same rules
bromances. Do
Bromance.
bromances
Yeah, I did
follow
hear
the
you
same
right.
rules?
of romances?
Yep.
Oh, and all the caveats that we said in the first half.
Yep.
It's just a sloppy portmanteau for friendship, isn't it?
Like we are speaking, like, let's be 100%. We are talking about strong friendship, not
Very
a
strong
relationship.
friendship.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But the idea of that, some bromances, like profound betrayals and things like that, can also still hurt.
This does raise actually a really good point, because another facet of just romance in general that can get frustrating is when that becomes central over the stories of the individual characters, right? And this happens in real life too, right? Where a couple becomes a couple, and sometimes they stop being individuals. So even in a bromance situation,
It's like, ugh.
if that friendship, like whatever it manifests as kind of a funny thing or a serious thing or a you saved my life, I am yours kind of thing.
Yeah.
If one person is firmly committed to the bromance angle and the other isn't, that's something that could get really tricky if they're looking to have a different experience after a while.
we haven't really talked about sort of platonic love, but also love of like, let's say love of country or love of an object or something like that, right? Like a heirloom or a sword or something like that, right? Like a lot of times characters will have maybe some dark past that not what is their goal as a character is to, avenge their fallen parents or whatever it is, but why not lean into the things that the characters really are into? You know what I mean? What is it that they love? For me as a musician, I love classical music, and I think it would be really great to play a bard that kind of followed that desire that I have for listening to classical music, but it could be in-world music, and it's just their character's love for music, or our recently departed character from last week's session's love for cupcakes.
Cupcakes.
It just became like a running thing to kind of lighten the mood of a very serious and dark character. Just had a love for baked goods or something like that, and like carrying out your character's sort of like passions for things at the table is something that maybe people should do a little bit more. Rather than just going to like, okay, let's get into the goblin village and lop heads off of goblin children or whatever.
But what if I love to do that?
Hey, that could be the romance of lopping off goblin children heads, right?
A bloodlust of sorts. Yeah, why not? But in this case, yeah, like build some storylines about finding the thing, and maybe these like out of print sheet music or something like that. These things that like that could really build to a character, and then could become potentially something really tragic if then they store them all in a nice little cabin that then burns to the ground.
Wow.
I don't know what I'm thinking about. I don't know.
If we're adding that kind of romance, certainly do it, right? I don't really have a lot of caveats for this one because this just makes your character a lot more interesting. So yeah, go for it.
Right, and maybe they could have like that's where you could kind of add real interesting quirks to a character that makes them they have these kind of strange little interests that they like. They prefer the the unique comic stylings of a bard from a certain coastal city in a certain region of the world that they love searching out their folios and trying to collect and have little moments of Chaucer in the park, that talk of
Yeah, one of the mechanics from Pathfinder that they added later was a skill called lore, and the idea of this stat or this skill was that it couldn't have any actual real usage for it. So you just knew a lot about one specific thing, and it may come up never, or it may come up at a pivotal time, right? Like one of my characters, he had one of his lore interests was sand. So he just knew a lot about sand. He just loved sand. He'd collect sand from different places.
So he's the opposite of Anakin Skywalker. Famous disliker of sand because it gets everywhere.
Anakin's sand collector. Yeah, that was his name.
Yeah. Sandikin.
Yeah. Sandikin. It's getting better, actually. But the idea that your lore could be turtles, it could be
a turtle kid. I like
turtles. I mean, I kind of feel like every character should actually have something that's a bit of a not necessarily a hyper focus unless you're playing that kind of character, but like just something that just comes up, like that cupcake thing that Jay mentioned. That like I feel like that character took a very serious, like an unserious, but that character became so much more real to me once he like developed this love of pastries that aren't in his home country. It's like really, 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 really interesting. I kind of like what you guys are getting at here.
Yeah, and so we're extending this concept of love of being like, well, I didn't know that I loved that thing until I had it, right? The comedian Louis C.K. famously said, that's why when I went to China, I didn't try the duck vaginas. Because what if I love them? That's my thing. Anyway, sorry.
That episode has recently been released, so that's why that's really? Fresh on my mind.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh man, yeah. So yeah, bring that in. So let's bring it down to our own experiences of characters that had been in love or had experienced love or romance in a game, and how that experience went, like in game, and or maybe how it also felt as a player being that character.
I mean, I've had 4 characters that have had some kind of either NPC or character relationship at this point, and I think Liren is still the prime one because that went through so many sessions. That was like a lived-in like experience with a PC. So much so that at one point when the PC went, nope, not doing this, because like really good friends, he liked her, she was oblivious, like so focused on her own problems, then wanted to get with him, and he's like, no, kind of a thing. And that basically like turned the whole story for her on its head. And I would have had a completely different experience had we not gone there with that relationship. Like her motivations just shifted. Like suddenly it's like, wow, I just got rejected by the safety net, the person, the friend zone, the person I've been friend zoning basically for years. And it really pushed her story arc, her growth, everything way forward. Wound up having a very terrible experience as a result of it. Came back and, ultimately resolved that situation. But yeah, it was something that I felt like her arc could have hit an end in her growth without it. And I think that's one of the worst feelings in a long-term campaign to have, is that you don't know what else to do with this character other than just maybe retire them to the farm, as we say. And I feel like I got to play her for, I mean, that campaign lasted over a year, and this happened at about the midpoint. And I feel like I never wanted to stop playing her because there was so much that happened as a result of that one decision. And that's rare. That's rare to get, 51 sessions I think we had in that campaign, to get all the way to the end and be like, oh, I just wish there was more, even though we hit a good, natural, solid end. So
you wanted to have a good fantasy book. You want it to end when you still want more, I suppose, rather than
exactly
extend too long. Well, there was a real quality of like will they, won't they that happened throughout the whole thing, and the dynamics slowly shifted as the characters sort of literally got older and realized what they've kind of been through and some of the traumatic experiences they went through and all that kind of stuff, and then returned back to their original city, different people. So that was a really fun story, and near misses for everyone along the way in the game as to like, will this person make it out of this hairy situation? And they did, and it got us there really kind of organically as well. Yeah. Chris, you got one?
Hey, one of my favorite characters was she was kind of a little scared, a little meek. She was kind of new to this world full of mercenaries and things like that, and it was kind of like she was very she fell in love with a very important kind of prince-like character, and the entire time she was nervous and she was slowly building up courage over.
As in the musician?
Oh, I haven't seen The Musician.
No, formerly known as Prince. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm just, this is what it sounds like when the doves cry.
Yes, like that, Jay. Okay. Like that.
Just like that.
Yeah, she was just very nervous,
But
and
not.
the story was really about her slowly becoming more confident in her, in all of the things that she valued, right? And yeah, it was just a cute little, almost like teen romance type story.
Aww, I love it.
For me, since I'm 99.9% of the time a GM, a lot of the stories I get to tell of characters that I would have liked to have played, but maybe like back in high school, it would have been my first character, and then my second character was that character's son, and I always imagined what the character's interaction would have been like in the off times that we were too immature to ever play, and that kind of father-son love, which then I kind of got to do more recently in a campaign arc with the kind of patriarch of this family who had these 3 children and just kind of loved them in their own different ways. and then like the firstborn son and all this kind of stuff that kind of went through some really interesting challenges during like the teenage years and all that kind of stuff. And then as
so authentic.
It really was, and it really felt like whenever I got to play as that father who then became like the grandfather and all this kind of stuff, it felt really fun to kind of take that role in the campaign. And as someone who's opted not to have kids in my own life, I get to have them sort of vicariously through the RP world in a way, and that was really nice. And then so when it finally came time for his inevitable end. It was kind of a real touching moment and kind of sad to see a character go, or nice to see when characters go in a campaign not via the end of a sword or misplaced magic balls, fireballs.
Magic ball made of fire.
Yeah. Bouncy balls in Japan.
My last character died in a ball pit. A bottomless ball pit. He just sank to the bottom where all the dirty diapers are, and just
dirty diapers.
Like how often do you think they ever clean those ball pits? Ugh.
Yeah,
ball pits are.
As someone who used to work at a daycare, we had to do it once a month. So at least once a month.
All right, so there's one location that has ethics.
Yeah. McDonald's ball pits? Never. No. They found a nugget in the bottom,
Ugh.
No.
A grimace?
A grimace.
God.
All right. Well, I think that's a nice warm end, unless anyone wants to share another comment or anecdote.
I did have one question for the both of you to answer.
Ooh.
Now, another of Valentine's Day's roots goes back to Rome with Lupercalia. And in a lot of story arcs that I've heard involving basically, just in case any listeners don't know this, it's basically a festival of like love, marriage, fertility to Pan and Juno. It even happens on February 13th through 15th. But in a lot of stories, you'll see, or reimaginings, orgies play a pretty big role in how creators have imagined this festival. Just rampant lovemaking, breaking the barriers of you've got fertility, but fidelity breaks down, things like that. Would you ever entertain doing a kind of reimagining of this festival in one of your campaigns? And how would you kind of like rein it in? How would you keep it kind of on the rails and working for everybody at your table?
One, yes. Two, we've done it. The country of Falcovians have a very free love and kind of wild sexual identity compared to a lot of the rest of the world, which is probably a little bit more conservative. And during these kind of bacchanals that we'd get into, you just get into the kind of the broader moments of, that like in a novel in which there are scenes of sex that don't get explicit, such that like you're reading softcore or even kind of hardcore pornography. You're just you're in broad strokes explaining the things that happen in a more clinical fashion, perhaps. And in that way you could talk about the orgy and the nudity and the excessive wine drinking and fondling and all this kind of stuff. That's such a way that Near's like, wow, okay, that was a wild party, you know what I mean? And the next day everyone wakes up with headaches or something like that, you know what I mean? And
so use textbook medical terms.
Yeah, well, not as far as medical terms. I mean, you're going to want to add some degree of kind of sensuousness to even the telling of it, right? But it's when you stop a few steps shy of getting smutty, but still get maybe a little bit more here in the language that you use. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I've certainly done it as well with very careful language, and you just need to mention an orgy, and then their minds can come up with whatever they think of an orgy. But the other thing that I did was I also added another element to it that made the focus get away from the actual acts themselves, right? Like so, like everyone had their heart ripped out, so. Like they were kind of like demons, and people were more focused on the people with the holes in the center of their chest rather than the actual acts that they were performing.
Well, you could splice it up in an interesting and almost somewhat comedic editing fashion as well, like they do in films, where you, like you said, the train going through the tunnel, or you have the character who walks into the brothel. Sex workers work. They walk into the brothel, then it cuts over to another character who's at the inn, kind of like just like eating sausage. You know what I mean? Like, and just play with it that way. I mean, we often have fun on this podcast and are silly, but what we talk about underneath it all is serious love for RPG gaming. But I think we shouldn't shy away from just being kind of silly with it sometimes. Sometimes romance and love and sex is funny and silly and weird, and why not?
Audience is the key.
Audience is the key.
Audience is the key.
That's right. All right. To their heart. Oh boy, you know how to say that. You know how to talk to me like a real goyle.
Goyle.
Oh boy.
Well, Olive Boyle, do you want to get out of here?
Yeah, why don't you take me down by the boardwalk and buy me a churro?
Ooh, can I come? I want a churro.
Salty or sweet?
Wait, there's a salty churro? What the hell?
I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. There must be salty churros out there, right? Am I just making this up?
I hope not. That's an abomination, and you know it.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, thank you very much for joining us for the 3RPG podcast. Talk on romance. Safe word, salty churro.
Salty churro.
The salty churro.
My name's Jay Underwood.
And I'm Chris.
And I'm Sandra Rosner.
I don't know why I said it that way.
Listeners, let us know how you might use romance or love in the comments below. Keep it simple. Keep it safe.
No videos.
no videos or provocative gifts. And smash that doobly-doo.
Doobly-doo.
Is that what you do? Do you smash doobly-doos?
Well,
I mean, you could gently press it if you want tonight.
Only in the privacy of my own home. On that note, everyone, have a good week. Happy Valentine's Day. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Get lucky. The 3RPG podcast is produced and performed by Sandra Rosner, Chris Takasaki, and Jay Underwood. Music and audio editing, mix, and master is done by Jay Underwood, art by Chris Takasaki. If you'd like to be a guest on the show or have any questions, please email us at 3rpgpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to support the 3RPG podcast, please visit our Patreon or visit our website at www.3rpg.com. That is THREERPG.com.